They will be bound in the Euphrates River for 70 generations. And though they cry out, plead, and pray, they shall never be forgiven. Their fate was sealed the moment they chose to defy the divine order. This is the story of the fallen angels, their corruption, and the punishment that condemned them for all eternity, according to Enoch. As humanity grew and multiplied, many beautiful daughters were born. The angels, the sons of heaven, gazed upon these women with desire and made a fateful decision among themselves. Let us choose wives from the daughters of men and have children with them, they said. But their leader, Semyaza, hesitated. I fear that not all will follow through with this plan, and I alone will be left to suffer the great punishment for this sin. Yet the others did not waver. Let us swear together an unbreakable oath, they replied. Thus, 200 angels descended to earth during the days of Jared, landing atop Mount Hermon. There, they sealed their oath with a solemn pact and unleashed an age of darkness. Among them were powerful leaders such as Semyaza, Ramiel, Tamiel, Asael, and others, each commanding groups of 10. Once on earth, they took human wives and corrupted them with forbidden knowledge, sorcery, enchantments, and the secrets of roots. The women became pregnant and gave birth to giants, colossal beings thousands of feet tall. Their insatiable hunger ravaged humanity, consuming all resources, and when food became scarce, they turned against the humans themselves. Chaos spread. They sinned against the birds, the beasts, the reptiles, and the fish. They even began to devour one another and drink blood. The earth, defiled, cried out for justice. Azazel, one of the fallen angels, taught humans to forge weapons and armor. He revealed the secrets of metals, the crafting of ornaments, and the use of forbidden minerals. He also taught them to beautify themselves with dyes and cosmetics. Wickedness spread like wildfire. Other angels shared hidden knowledge, enchantments, astrology, the power of constellations, the signs of the sun and the moon. Corruption had reached its peak. Humanity, consumed by sin and violence, raised its cry to the heavens. The great archangels Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked upon the earth in horror. Blood flowed unchecked, civilization teetered on the brink of annihilation. And then God spoke. As Enoch pronounced his words of judgment, the earth trembled and the skies darkened, as if the universe itself felt the weight of the sentence imposed upon the watchers. Prostrated in despair, they knew then that there would be no redemption for them or their offspring. The Great One, in his infinite justice, decreed that all those condemned to destruction would be bound together with the Watchers, sharing their fate for all future generations. Evil would be eradicated from the face of the earth, and justice would take root, marking a new beginning where joy and peace would flourish forever. The Lord promised that the righteous would survive, prosper, and live without fear or sorrow. The earth would be nurtured with righteousness, covered with lush trees and abundant vineyards. The seed sown would yield plentiful harvests, and oppression would disappear forever. All nations would praise the Creator, and corruption would never again stain humanity. Before these events, Enoch had vanished from the sight of men. No one knew where he had gone or what had become of him. His fate was intertwined with that of the Watchers, for he, as a scribe of righteousness, had been called to deliver a message to those who had abandoned their heavenly abode and corrupted the earth with their forbidden knowledge. When Enoch stood before the fallen Watchers, his words were firm and inexorable. He conveyed to them the sentence pronounced against them. They would never again know peace, nor would their pleas be heard. Destruction awaited them, and their offspring would perish by the sword. Their wandering spirits would roam restlessly, never finding a place in creation. The fallen, desperate, begged Enoch to intercede for them, to write a plea for forgiveness and present it before the Most High. Moved by their anguish, Enoch fulfilled their request and brought their words before the Lord. But in dreams, a vision was revealed to him. There would be no mercy for them, for their fate was sealed. He then returned to the watchers with the divine response. In a valley between the mountains of Lebanon and Caesar, he found them prostrated in lament. With solemn authority, he recounted his vision and spoke words of reproach. A deep terror seized them, for they understood that their destiny was written and that there would be no redemption for their rebellion. Thus, the heavenly armies descended, and with chains forged in the flames of creation, they bound them in the depths of the Euphrates. Sealed with sacred inscriptions, they were confined in darkness, while humanity, purified of their influence, prepared for a new dawn. But deep within the river, beneath layers of water and rock, the fallen awaited. For the prophecy spoke of a day when the seals would be broken and the final judgment would begin. And so the generations passed. Empires rose and fell, and the Euphrates continued its course, concealing the mystery of the angels chained in its depths. But in the last days, signs in the heavens and on earth have begun to manifest. Earthquakes shake the ground with fury. The waters of the Euphrates recede, revealing forgotten ruins. The wise warn that the seals may be weakening. Ancient prophecies predict that when the hour comes, the fallen angels will be released for a brief time to bring chaos and destruction upon the world. The nations will tremble, war and famine will be unleashed, and humanity will be tested as never before. Then the final battle between light and darkness will begin. Enoch, in his wisdom, left a warning for future generations. Watch and remain steadfast, for the day of judgment is near. Those who remain righteous will be protected, but those who embrace corruption will fall alongside the fallen. And so, deep within the Euphrates, the shadows wait. Enoch, still trembling from the vision, felt the weight of the judgment pronounced against the watchers. There would be no mercy, no leniency for those who once dwelled in the heights and descended to earth of their own will. The judgment had been sealed, and the fate of their offspring was marked by the sword and extinction. But beyond the physical punishment, an even more terrible condemnation awaited them: eternal exile, the definitive separation from celestial glory. As the voice echoed around him, Enoch witnessed the words engraved upon a scroll of fire. It was the irrevocable decree, the supreme will sealed before the beginning of time. The mist surrounded him once more, and he felt his spirit carried through the celestial winds. This time, he found himself in a vast and dark abyss, where the shadows of the fallen writhed in anguish. There were the watchers, those who had sent him with the vain hope that their plea would be heard. But in their faces, there was nothing but despair and contained fury. In the midst of the abyss, Enoch saw chains forged of fire and ice, binding the fallen angels in a prison of endless suffering. Their lamentations were nothing more than lost echoes in eternity, resonating in the caverns of desolation. One of them, whose gaze burned with fierce resentment, lifted his eyes and recognized Enoch. "Do you bring us news, scribe of men?" His voice was like the cracking of stone as it shattered. "Has our fate been reconsidered?" Enoch, with infinite sorrow, shook his head. "It will not be granted, neither now nor ever," he said solemnly. "The judgment has been decreed for all eternity. You shall remain here in the depths of the earth until the end of time." A roar of despair and rage shook the abyss. The watchers struggled against their chains, but it was futile. The sentence was written in indelible flames upon the firmament. Enoch felt that his time in that place was coming to an end. A new wind blew, carrying him away from that pit of torment. Suddenly, he found himself once more in the heavenly abode. The great glory still rested upon his throne, surrounded by cherubim of fire and rivers of light. Enoch fell to his knees, unable to hold his gaze before the majesty of the Most High. "Go and write all that you have seen," commanded the divine voice. "Let men know the fate of the fallen and the spirits that arose from them. Let them understand the consequences of disobedience and corruption. Let them remember that judgment will come for all, and that only those who walk in righteousness will find peace." With these words, Enoch was returned to the earth. He awoke with a weight upon his soul, but with the certainty that his mission must be fulfilled. He took his pen and began to write, ensuring that the divine message would never be lost in the sands of time. Enoch beheld a place with no sky above and no solid ground below, a barren and desolate wasteland. There, he saw 7 stars burning like great mountains of fire. Intrigued, he inquired about them, and the angel answered, "This is the end of heaven and earth. This is the prison of the stars and celestial beings. These stars, rolling upon the fire, are those who disobeyed the Lord's command. They did not rise when they were supposed to, and because of their disobedience, he became angry with them and bound them here until their guilt is fully judged, even for 10,000 years. Uriel turned to Enoch and added, "Here will remain the angels who corrupted themselves by taking human wives. Their spirits now take many forms, leading humanity astray and causing them to worship demons as gods. Here they will stay until the great day of judgment, when they will finally be destroyed. The women who are led astray by these angels will become sirens, calling men to their doom. Only Enoch has seen this vision, the end of all things. No other man will witness what he has seen." Enoch continued his journey with the holy angels, who revealed to him the mysteries of the universe. He was introduced to the celestial guardians, who oversee humanity. Their names are Uriel, who watches over the world and the depths of Tartarus; Raphael, who watches over the spirits of men; Raguel, who takes vengeance in the world of luminaries; Michael, who is set over the best part of humanity and over chaos; Sariel, who is in charge of the spirits of those who sin in spirit; Gabriel, who guards paradise, the serpents, and the cherubim; Remiel, whom God has appointed over those who rise from the dead. Then Enoch was taken to an even more terrifying place, where everything was in chaos. He saw 7 stars bound, burning like mountains of fire. He asked why they were there, and Uriel answered, "These stars are among those who transgressed the Lord's command. They are bound here until the 10,000 years of their sin are fulfilled." Further ahead, Enoch beheld an immense fire burning ceaselessly, opening into the abyss. Its vastness was beyond comprehension. Uriel said, "This is the prison of the angels, where they will be held forever." Later, he was taken to a great and high mountain in the west. Inside, it were 4 deep, dark hollows. Raphael explained, "These places have been created for the spirits of the dead. Here they will remain until the day of their judgment." Enoch saw the spirits crying out for justice. One of them was Abel, whose voice still demanded vengeance against his brother Cain. Raphael explained that the hollow places were divided to separate the righteous from the sinners. Some would find rest, others eternal torment. Afterward, Enoch traveled to the ends of the earth and saw an unending flame that never ceased. He asked what it was, and Raguel replied, "This is the western fire that relentlessly pursues all celestial lights." Further ahead, he saw 7 great mountains, and among them a unique tree with an incomparable fragrance. Michael explained, "This mighty mountain is the throne of God. In the great judgment, this tree will be given to the righteous, who will find joy and eternal happiness." Finally, Enoch discovered a cursed valley, reserved for the condemned. Uriel explained that here those who blasphemed against the Lord would be judged. Enoch praised the God of glory and continued his journey, marveling at the magnificence and horror of the visions that had been revealed to him. During the days of Enoch, son of Jared, grandson of Mahalalel, and descendant of Adam, the wise prophet shared the visions he had received. The second vision he beheld was of profound wisdom, a wisdom that became the foundation of Enoch's prophetic words. This message was not only meant for the ancients, it was for all who had lived before and those yet to come. The truth, spoken by the holy ones before the Lord of Spirits, was to be shared. Although the revelations could have been kept secret, the Lord of Spirits, in his infinite mercy, granted Enoch eternal life and the gift of sharing 3 great parables. The first spoke of a future where the righteous would be gathered and sinners would face judgment. On that day, the sinners would be cast out, and when the righteous one appeared, light would shine upon God's chosen ones, while the wicked would find no refuge. The fate of those who denied the Lord would be worse than death itself. When the secrets of the righteous were revealed, the mighty of the earth would lose their status, unable to stand before the saints. The light of the chosen ones would overshadow all, while the powerful and the kings would fall before divine justice with no hope of redemption. Enoch was transported to the edge of the heavens, where he beheld the holy kingdom. There, the saints prayed without ceasing, interceding for humanity. In that kingdom, justice and mercy flowed like an endless river. Enoch felt drawn to this vision. His soul longed to dwell in that place of eternal peace, where praises to the Lord of Spirits never ceased. As Enoch delved deeper into the vision, his face shone with the Lord's light. He saw those who had been exalted, whose souls gleamed, immortalized in the divine presence. The righteous stood firm, always praising, while celestial beings bowed in worship. The angels Enoch had seen, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Phanuel, revealed themselves as the 4 great guardians of the Lord. The Lord of Spirits showed Enoch the vast organization of heaven and earth. He saw how celestial bodies, like the sun and the moon, followed sacred paths, their movements a testament to divine power. Everything in creation had a purpose, and all that the Lord had established remained unchanging. Enoch also saw how wisdom, once without a dwelling among men, found its place in the heavens. Meanwhile, injustice faded, unable to remain among the righteous. Wisdom settled among the angels, and justice poured down like dew upon a barren land, bringing comfort and redemption. The prophet witnessed visions of lightning, stars, and how the heavens were measured according to God's judgment. He not only saw the stars in their magnificence, but also the fate of sinners who would be banished from the earth when divine justice was revealed. Amazed by the majesty and order of the Lord, Enoch recounted the parables revealed to him. The day of judgment was approaching, and those who rejected the Lord of Spirits would be condemned. However, the righteous would be exalted, and the Son of Man, the one who embodied righteousness and faith, would ultimately overthrow the kings and mighty ones of the earth, those who did not acknowledge the source of their power, nor praise the name of the Lord. On this glorious day, the earth would be purified, and justice would reign, restoring peace for the righteous. Meanwhile, evildoers would find no solace, and their names would be erased. The righteous and the saints, blessed with an eternity of peace and light, would dwell in God's presence forever, while sinners would be cast out. Finally, Enoch saw the Ancient of Days take his place on the heavenly throne, opening the books of life. The heavens and the earth trembled before the justice that would finally be fulfilled, and the righteous rejoiced, for they knew that their time had come, and the blessing of living in the glory of the Lord of Spirits would become a reality. At that time, after the fallen angels were chained in the Euphrates River, the earth and the heavens prepared for the final judgment. Humanity had fallen into perdition, but the Lord of Spirits had promised not to show mercy to the wicked. Justice would be executed with force and without concessions. The righteous would receive the reward for their faith, and the wicked would pay for their sins. The moment of redemption was near. The chosen one, he who would rise with the power and wisdom granted by the Lord of Spirits, would take his place on the throne and reveal all the secrets of creation. The heavens would dance with joy, and the mountains and hills would leap, bathed in the glory of the Lord. The earth itself would rejoice in the presence of the chosen one, while the righteous would find their home upon it. On that day, all earthly riches and power would disappear. Gold, silver, iron, copper, and lead would lose their value before the power of the chosen one. No man would be able to escape, for the wealth of the earth would be destroyed. No one would find refuge in material things. Divine justice would cause all that was temporary to crumble, and the world would meet its end in a renewed creation. The kings and mighty ones of the earth, those who had oppressed the innocent and ruled with injustice, would be destroyed. The punishment prepared for them was eternal and unforgiving. The angels of punishment, with iron chains, would carry them to the abyss of Sheol, where they would be condemned forever. The vengeance of the Lord of Spirits would be an unbreakable act of justice. Meanwhile, the heavens would open, and the celestial waters would merge with the waters of the earth to bring an end to evil. The rain of judgment would fall upon all sinners, and suffering would be absolute. But the Lord of Spirits, in his infinite wisdom, would not destroy humanity entirely. In his mercy, he would place a sign in the sky as a covenant of goodwill, ensuring that destruction would never again be total. The chosen one, he who had been exalted by the Lord, would take his place on the throne of glory, and his judgment would be unstoppable. Gold and silver would no longer have any value. Power and money would be powerless before celestial justice. The angels of punishment would rise with fury, and vengeance upon the wicked would be a spectacle the heavens could not contain. The fallen kings, those who had given themselves to Satan, would receive their eternal punishment, and their dominions would be destroyed without remorse. As justice advanced, the suffering of the wicked would be absolute. In the depths of the earth, Sheol would open its jaws and consume the sinners. No corner would remain unpurified, and the entire world would undergo an irrevocable judgment. As the days passed, the heavens began to calm, reflecting the stillness that marked the end of an era. The chosen one, wrapped in a pure light, rose before the people. His presence radiated the hope of rebirth. Judgment had been pronounced, and humanity, guided by his wisdom, would be reborn. The lands, once engulfed in darkness, were bathed in divine light. The righteous would walk upon them, free from evil, under the protection of eternal justice. The chosen one not only illuminated the path to salvation, but also transformed the hearts of those who followed him, restoring the balance of the cosmos forever. The world would never be the same again. A new order would arise, where truth and peace would reign forever.